let's go to the next thing on the item list, and that is Phil Spencer. I already said that. All right, so Phil Spencer. All right, so Phil Spencer is, head of the Xbox games division over at Microsoft, and he said, which was the main takeaway, when you talk about Nintendo and Sony, we have a ton of respect for them, but we see Amazon and Google as the main competitors going forward. Let's stop right there, okay? He sees not Nintendo, not Sony, as his main competitors going forward. It's Amazon and Google. Now, initially, if you stop there, you might think, okay, when you hear the headline, Amazon and Google are main competitors now, maybe like, okay, he's talking about the cloud side of things. But no, if you read the whole context of it, is Nintendo and Sony aren't the main competitors anymore, which would imply those are where the two people we were worried about the most. No, it's Amazon and Google. So Amazon and Google, obviously, if you haven't heard, Amazon is working on their own game service. They have developers starting to line up with them, and they have this robust system in place ready to go that I believe when you talk about people that can take down Google in the cloud gaming space, Amazon is probably going to be your best bet. Now, we'll talk about other players later on, one specifically because it's relevant this week. But when it comes to the big players in cloud gaming, these are your main three. And I mentioned the other day in a tweet of sorts that this statement legitimized Google Stadia for people that, were, you kind of see Chase's gift down there of Galifianakis. But the other day I said Phil Spencer absolutely legitimized Stadia with his recent comments. He is right in the sense that the big three in cloud gaming will be Microsoft. I misspelled it there. Will be Microsoft, Google, and Amazon. In my opinion, all three having the biggest game streaming platforms is going to be an absolutely crucial part to that success. Now, we have talked all this time about, and this will kind of come back again later too, is how awesome it is for like Google, for instance, or because this will happen, is having the ability to watch a gameplay video of, let's go with something that's on there right now, Destiny 2. So you have this Destiny 2 gameplay video, and on the very bottom it says play now, and people are like, what does that mean? Or if they do know what that means, they're like, yeah, let's do that. So they click play now. If they own the game with that Google account, they can jump right in and play. If they don't, maybe it'll pop up try Stadia free for a week or try Stadia free for a month and play Destiny 2. Like, that's what can happen here. And the same thing can happen with Twitch, which Amazon owns. And the same thing for Microsoft can happen with Mixer. So having those streaming platforms with them, owned by all three of these companies, is going to be a big player in the future when it comes to cloud gaming. And especially for, Microsoft, who is really investing in Mixer. They, signed Ninja to them. And I know they signed other people as well. But having so much, so many of their eggs in that Mixer basket, they want to make cloud gaming important to them, because obviously they are thinking this is an important venture now, considering that they're calling Google and Amazon their biggest competitors. Now, think about it this way, because Phil Spencer mentions, cloud gaming, mobile gaming, all this kind of things. We're going from working with, whatever amount of people play at home on their consoles to everyone that owns a phone. Literally everyone pretty much owns a phone. So you just increase that market of who you can reach. And that's what's important to someone like Microsoft. And this isn't the first time Microsoft has gone with what's going to be the big thing. Back in 2001, when the Xbox came out, they had the PC, and they had a robust amount of people that had a PC and could play games on PC, but that wasn't really the popular thing at the time. And I mean, to a degree, it isn't the most popular thing because of the entry point that it is. It's a high entry point, and the argument obviously could be made, well, in the end, it's cheaper because it's always backwards compatible, blah, blah, blah. But that's not the argument here. The argument is that Microsoft can see what is coming up and what is big. 2001, they knew online gaming through home consoles was coming, thanks to the Dreamcast, because they started that, by the way. And they brought on the home console, and the home console market has blown up since that time, since Microsoft joined the home console market. With the original Xbox and the 360, which is one of the biggest hits in the entire, history of gaming. And they were a part of that because they saw what was coming, and they saw what was going to be the thing to be a part of. And I think that's what they're seeing now, is that cloud gaming, when it is at its apex and when it's working for everybody, this is going to be what developers want to be a part of, because something like Microsoft and just developing studios that make games and publish games, they don't want to have to worry about the extra middleman. If they can pick whether they're going to pay Walmart and Microsoft to be on their platform, or just Microsoft, or just Google, or just Amazon, they're going to pick that one because that's more money in their pocket. They don't have to worry about shipping the products. They don't have to worry about those products getting clearanced and losing money on the deal. So like, this is what they want to eventually go to, and it makes more sense for them financially because they can make more money this way. And Phil Spencer sees that, and the fact that he said something like this in a public space has shown that he has taken this seriously, and that this is the future, man. Like, these things matter, and whether you like it, whether it's working for you, that's not necessarily the case. And while it can be ahead of its time in a way, this is going to be what matters. I mean, just look at GeForce now. Like, I think the numbers are probably in the 300,000 mark in terms of how many people have tried it so far, but that's just GeForce now. It's from NVIDIA. It's PC gaming. Like I said, PC gaming, it is popular, of course, but more people are apt to play or own an Xbox or PlayStation just because it's easier for them to set up, plug and play on a TV, put a game in, done. They don't have to do anything else. They don't have to tinker with settings every time they go into play. So NVIDIA GeForce now is not going to be that a good barometer of how popular this can be. It's going to be what Google can do. It's going to be what Amazon can do. It's going to be what Microsoft can do. And I know people have this bad feeling about Google and just, it's going to the Google graveyard eventually. And we don't know that. I don't think it will. I don't think it should, because it's a great platform. And people are a little more accepting of Microsoft and the XCloud because of their game library and what it can bring with, Game Pass and just what they already own. And I get that. They have the games there, and that will come with time with Google for sure. But XCloud is going to be a big focus for Microsoft in the future. And they might be kind of, splitting their focus up too much because they have the Series X coming out, and then they're going to have XCloud. And I know eventually they're going to want to just focus on XCloud, and that's fine. So it's going to be interesting how that ends up launching and how it's going to work, because if they focus too much on maybe the Series X, will XCloud falter? If they focus too much on XCloud, will the Series X falter and Sony will just wipe them off the face of the earth? I don't know. It could happen. But that's the exciting thing, is we don't know what's going to happen in this gaming landscape, and it's going to be significantly changed. Like, everything is going to change in the future. And Phil Spencer sees that, and he believes, and just by his sentiment, I can feel that Microsoft is going to eventually start focusing exclusively on XCloud more than the Series X, and that the Series X is going to be that ancillary console you can have if you want to play everything in your entire Xbox library, from the original all the way up to the Series X. And they want to have that, that ability to still cater to the people that want to play exclusively on those home consoles. And that is not a problem. I mean, it's not a bad thing. It's good that there's more options for people out there. And that's why I think it's awesome that Amazon's going to have something. That's why I think it's awesome that Microsoft's going to have something. And it's going to only push Google and what they can do with Stadia. And I think Google has the best reach when it comes to what they can really do, because if you compare those streaming platforms, like I already mentioned, YouTube, Twitch, and Mixer, which of those three is the biggest one? And it's not even close. People watch YouTube religiously. People will constantly have YouTube on, and having that ability to constantly reach people in that way is a much more, broader reach compared to what Mixer is, which is way that way. And then Twitch, of course, Twitch is there, but Twitch is exclusively live content, and YouTube has that advantage, I think, with it comes to pre-recorded content and just bringing out these different kind of videos. Yes, you can do it on Twitch, but it doesn't get that reach that you necessarily want. But YouTube, it does. YouTube is far greater in terms of what it can do. And I'm really just going way off here, but the point is Phil Spencer really believes in what cloud gaming can do and what it's going to do, because it is everything in the future. And this, as I said, legitimized Stadia, and I think it's awesome. It's awesome news, and I think it shows a great deal of respect from what Phil Spencer has said. And he, as Chase has said many times in the past, he wears his heart on his sleeve. Like, these are his feelings. Like, this is what's going to keep him up at night. It's going to be Google and Amazon, because those are two mammoth companies that are ready to take Microsoft down when it comes to cloud gaming. And it's going to be an interesting, next year or two to see where we are all end up at when it comes to all these services. But that's what that is regarding that. As for Amazon, I'm kind of interested in what they're going to be doing. Wrong guy. I'm kind of interested in what Amazon's plan is, because they aren't really out there right now, because we don't know anything. They've been very quiet. And do we have an idea of maybe when they're going to be around? Do we know? We don't. We don't know if Amazon plans on kind of competing directly with like the Series X and the PS5, or if they're going to wait maybe a little longer before they jump into the space. Because, I mean, outside of just kind of the, the little whispers, we just don't know anything about it. And it's kind of exciting to know that. Like, what do they have planned? Are they kind of playing the wait and see and trying to play the not creating it kind of game, but mastering it? Kind of like what Apple has done awesomely in the phone market. They usually don't innovate the products. They take an existing idea and perfect it. That's kind of what they do. I'm wondering if Amazon's kind of going the same route. They're trying to see what Google's doing, and damn, that focusing is annoying the hell out of me. Maybe if they're trying to see what Google's doing, maybe if it's my arms that are just waving around. Let's try that. Okay. And maybe Amazon's just trying to see what Google's doing and seeing what mistakes they're making and what's working, what doesn't work. And then, Charles, you think they could be at GDC or E3? That would be interesting. I feel like if Amazon was going to be at GDC talking about their game streaming, which they might, I haven't seen their list of things they may be talking about if they're going to be there at all. That would be the place to do it for sure. E3, that might be more likely if they're going to announce it this year. That I don't know. But yeah, I'm interested in what Amazon's going to be doing, simply just because it's just another competitor. And the more that people are, in competition with each other, the more it makes, everything better. Like, you are forced to up your game. And a good example of this, and I'm not sure how many people are wrestling fans particularly, but I've always I've had this, not idea, but, this viewpoint since like 2001, like when the WCW went out of business, that brought no competition to the WWF at the time, and they really had nothing to really do. So, that's why you saw kind of like pro wrestling just kind of in popularity, just because, you didn't have that competition anymore. It wasn't really must-see television every week. And that like competition is kind of, made watching the WWE kind of, every week since. And that's kind of how I view something like Google and everything else, is competition just breeds better ideas, it breeds better products, better services. And that's why I think it's a good thing that Google is going to have Amazon and Microsoft down their necks. And those are two big companies, two companies that can easily put you down. And if they're going to be directly competing with something that Amazon and Microsoft are doing, I don't think Google is going to be taking it lightly. There's a reason why, YouTube is the most watched online video service. There's a reason why you have Google Maps, which is the most used map service, Calendar, Docs, Drive, all these things that Google does, Gmail, the biggest probably email provider in the entire country. I don't know about the world, because I don't know how their reach is in that way, but Google has, when they have a winner, they have like the biggest winners of all. And that's what Stadia can be. And because they truly have that competition, they have that financial investment in what Stadia is all about, they should have no problem in making their service better. And it's only going to get better in terms of what they're going to offer and the features that come with it.